I couldn't end this week without doing this video, this particular review for Alien Planet. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while, and if you also subscribe to Fat Samurai Guy, who, if you're not, I suggest you go and do that. Alien Planet is an independent film directed by Alan Maxson. And for those of you who don't know, but I'm sure many of you do by now, Alan Maxson played one of the three heads in the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters of Ghidorah. And he made this film. I watched it some time ago. I've actually seen it about 3 times. And I was supposed to review this film quite some time ago. But as you all know, guys, real life always takes precedence. You guys know that. So, Alan, if you're watching this,
I just want to say I'm sorry, and will you please forgive me?
But with that said, Alien Planet is a fantastic film. I've seen it, like I said, 3 times. This movie kicks off with these 2 alien races, the Lokine and the Kameen, who had a long war many years ago, and the Kameen became victorious, and they pretty much shipped off the Lokine to a separate planet. And really the fight was over water, and the fresher water was on the home planet, and the new planet that the Lokine reside on it has very little water, and they use like a supplement called Zod, which is pretty much like filthy water, to try and sustain themselves. Well, it turns out that the Kameen have drained most of the resources on their planet, and they discovered that like some elixir from a vial on the current planet that the Lokine are on possess a potent power to basically rehabilitate the planet with just a drop. And so a character named Brocheat is on his way to the planet to basically follow up on another Kameen who had went there and didn't report back. On that planet, we meet Locke and her husband, who are just living their lives, and they run into the Kameen that went there the first time, and Locke's husband gets killed. She finds the scroll with the location of the vial, and then off we go. And at this point, it's pretty much Locke is looking for this vial, and she's hoping to use it now that she knows the information and what it does and where it is. She's hoping to use that to actually resurrect her husband, where Brocheat wants to use it, obviously, to bring it back to his planet and rehabilitate the planet. So throughout the story, you basically have these 2 characters on a mission, and eventually they do collide, they do meet, and during that moment, they both get captured by a Dweller, an alien monster native to the planet that pretty much looks like it eats anything, but actually shows enough intelligence that it likes to fatten up its capture before consuming it. So both these characters, Locke and Brocheat, get captured, and what's left behind is an interesting character named Gairi, which in the movie is what's called a Peach, a species of, like, I'm gonna say cat. And these cats have a special ability to heal. It's kind of like the lay on hands effect of a paladin if you're into RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons, but they don't actually lay on hands. They regurgitate on the wound, but it heals. So Gairi is locked up by Locke. Locke and Brocheat get captured by the Dweller, and most of the movie takes place within the confines of the ship that was left behind from the first Kameen alien that didn't complete its mission and ended up dying. So the Dweller, Locke, and Brocheat are in this alien ship for days, and as the days progress, Locke and Brocheat argue. There's a lot of prejudice amongst both characters. It's a little bit heavily more towards the Lokine from the Kameen, and they learn about each other. Brocheat learns that Locke's name was the same name, has the same name as his wife did. He also finds out that Locke was adopted by Kameen parents because they were sympathizers. So a lot of good interactions here, and them fighting, being prejudiced, or throwing slurs at each other, but eventually coming to an agreement, a very loose agreement, that they would help each other. As the story progresses, Locke is the one that manages to escape and finds Gairi. She convinces Gairi to heal her, and she takes him back to Locke. And then kind of from there, the movie heads towards its end, which I don't really want to get into. Obviously, I'm giving light spoilers, but there's a lot of meat in there that I'm not giving away because I really do recommend this film. You know, I'm not a big independent film viewer, you know, and this movie has kind of changed my thoughts on that. And something very similar happened to me many years ago when I went from exclusively triple and double A games to delving so deep into independent games now that 80% of my collection are independent games. And I kind of feel like this movie did the same thing for me. You know, it made me realize that, you know, when you look at an independent film, it's not going to have all the flash and glare of a AAA film. But what it is going to have is passion, good writing, and it's going to have elements about it that are very different from Hollywood mainstream films. And I think one thing I do realize, and I even saw this in other reviews for this movie, is that when you watch Hollywood movies for such a long time, you kind of develop this almost like this expectation of things to happen in a certain way. And in this movie, they kind of veer off of that. And I personally like that. Now, there's some reviewers that I read that did not like that. They did not like the ending. But I think that's because there's certain forks in the road in this film where you say, oh, you can subconsciously say, well, this is the direction it's going to go in because you've been trained to think that from Hollywood movies for so long, but the movie goes in the opposite direction. And that's where I really found enjoyment. In particular, the ending of the movie is a big twist. It is shocking, and I loved every minute of it. One thing I got to say about this movie is the alien prosthetics for the characters was just top notch. It was really good. I kind of see that most of the budget went into that. One of the things I told Alan was that the way the aliens look kind of remind me of Enemy Mine. And if you've seen Enemy Mine, it's an 80s film starring Louis Gossett Jr. and I believe it's Randy Quaid. And that is a fantastic movie. And the design for the alien is very similar to that. And I thought that was just fantastic. But the way they did it was very, very good. There is excessive blood in this movie to the point that it's not even like grotesque. It is this excessive. It's bubbly. But it's good. You know what I mean? It still makes it fun. My favorite character personally is Brocheat. I think that you know, I like his. The thing I like about that character mainly is the fact he's very strong in his convictions. And while he seems unwavering, it's not necessarily the case. He does legitimately kind of work with Locke. And even at some point in the film, there's almost a sense of endearment. You know what I mean? Because he has a better understanding of who she is based on their interactions on the ship when they were both captured. I think the cast did a fantastic job. Locke is played by Alexandra Bokova. Brocheat is played by Hunter C. Smith, and Naia Lajoie, which I hope she's watching because I got the name right. She actually does the puppeteering for Guy Ritchie, and Alan Maxson does the voices of Guy Ritchie, which, by the way, are fantastic. And there are points in the movie where Guy Ritchie says some things off the cuff that are just hilarious. It's really good. So, look, Alien Planet, again, it's an independent film. I want to do my part to express how much I enjoyed this film and get as many eyes on it as possible. I do think that, you know, while everyone's talking about Hollywood and the writer's strike, I do think that there's an element of movie making that we just don't give enough attention to, and that's independent film. And yeah, every now and then you'll have a blockbuster independent film come out and get notoriety and stuff like that, but it doesn't happen enough. And this is a sci-fi movie that has a good story. It has a very good story. It's got a good, some good plot twists. I know there's some pacing issues some people complain about in other reviews I've read, but I got to be honest. Look, I watched this movie for the first time going sleepless for 48 hours, okay? And I watched it on the day we were having the stream on Fat Samurai Guy's channel, and I didn't think I'd make it simply because I hadn't slept. Anything would have put me to sleep because I hadn't slept. But I can say sincerely, when I watched this movie, Not only did I not fall asleep, I was very much engaged. It didn't matter that I hadn't slept for 48 hours. And I've seen it twice since then. And I can't get enough of it. I just think it's a solid movie. It's refreshing. Yeah, it doesn't have the pizzazz and the quality of Hollywood, but it doesn't need to. It has a solid story. It's got characters that are, actors that care about the characters they're portraying, and you can see that in their performance. And it just has some things about it that are endearing. I can't even really put words on it, but I have it in my collection. Like I said, I've watched it 3 times. It's on Amazon Prime. You can find it. I highly recommend watching it. It's not a long watch. It's like, I think, an hour and 25 minutes. It's very compact in that sense. And I think the effects are great. The makeup and the prosthetics are, to me, just incredible. Better in some cases than some of the CGI stuff you see in Hollywood. No joke. The Dweller is well done. The alien, the Kameen, and the Lokine are well done. I love how they're designed to look very similar, but there are distinct differences in how they look in little details. And Guy Ritchie is just something special. I mean, I wish my cat would regurgitate on me and heal my wounds, but it doesn't work. He just spits out like hairballs. But anyway, that's my review for Alien Planet, a wonderful film that I highly recommend. There's my sleeping computer again. You guys probably remember that from yesterday. I think Alan Maxson did a great job. I think his cast and crew did a fantastic job. There is a lot of passion in this film, and it comes out in the movie. Just go check it out. And if you want to see the streams where we talk to Alan and some of his cast and crew, I'm going to leave the link to both streams in the description. The first one was with Fat Samurai Guy. Once again, I recommend you go and check his channel out. And then the second one was here done on this channel. So anyway, guys, that's it for this review. If you've seen Alien Planet, let me know in the comment section what you think. Until next time, this is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.